you guys, it's me, Dr. Torie. My book is officially out. And yes, it is time to talk about ACEs. You guys can find the books everywhere. However, I would encourage you guys to go to my website, Be VicTORIEus.com, and place your order today. Yes, it's time to talk about ACEs. Let's go, y'all.
Hello, 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 you guys. Welcome to another episode of Be Victorious. You know who I am. It's Dr. Torie. And let me share with you guys, it is a pleasure to have this young lady on this podcast. She is the face, she is the voice, she is the marketing, she is the media. When I tell you this young lady is all that in a bag of chips, when I think about superheroes and superstars, she is one. I will let you guys know she's always been inspiring to me, a huge motivator of my success, the number one supportive. And when I tell you very supportive, I would not be who I am if it was not for this young lady. She has her own business. She has inspired me to become the, when I say educator and entrepreneur, they call it edupreneur. I would not be who I am without her. Miss Iesha, let the world know who you are.
Hey y'all, hey.
Wait a minute, I still don't see you. There
There
she
we go.
goes.
Look, there we go. You know, technical difficulties, but we gonna get it.
That's right. Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am
Oh,
alive and present and well. I thank you again for coming on. We're going to do something different because the world needs to know who you are. Everybody's been asking about Miss Ish, and we need to know who you are. I let them know
yeah.
I would not be who I am without you. We have so many connections and so many ties. So let's start off with an introduction of who you are. Tell the world who you are.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Iesha B. I'm 24 years old. I stay in Chicago. Just graduated Columbia about 2 years ago. So I am a videographer, video editor, and social media manager. I also have my own business called Edit with Ish, where I do those things for clients, any and everybody, where I give people a platform, a voice, or just a space opportunity just to highlight themselves, their business, and, feel heard and seen.
And I feel heard and seen, honey. Let's be clear. We just had an international conference that you helped plan, execute. How do you feel?
I feel so great. In the beginning, like during the planning stages, you never really know like how big or how serious or how impactful events can be.
Mhm.
So to be in the stages of planning it, to actually see it come to play and see how amazing it was, it's a little rewarding, but also my heart just screams with gratitude because this is an opportunity that not only changed me, but I feel like I was able to help and change others as well.
hmm I believe it because you did. And one of those people are me. Let's be clear. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, for those who don't know you, how would you describe your journey as a cycle breaker?
Um, my journey as a cycle breaker, I would say it's rooted into creativity, truth, and resilience. It's all about like acknowledging the pain, feeling it, but not staying in it.
Mhm.
And as I've gotten older, been in school, post grad, it's really important to acknowledge, what's going on, acknowledge the elephant in the room because we can't solve the problems if we don't know what the problem really is.
Mm.
So my journey as a cycle breaker, it's not easy at all.
Mm.
There's ups and downs as there is with life in anybody in any specific way. But I think what it is having that passion and that drive and just keeping cycle breaker on the forefront because anything is possible. Anything. Like, I always try to, recognize my trauma and recognize, what may not be right and try to fix it. I don't let it, just linger or say like, oh, well, that is what it is, or this is me, and just be done with it. No, like, you work towards greatness and you work towards breaking those cycles, because that's important. And, that's beneficial to not only you, but to others who may be looking to break cycles.
It's very eloquently stated. That's why I love her, but I'm trying to show, not to show, and stay in my host realm because let me tell you, I've seen your growth. It's amazing to see you transition from a young woman to a adult. You know what I mean? I've been mentoring you for so long, and just to see your transition and to see your growth, for me, it's humbling. Just the smile, just the way that you move, the way that you are doing things. It just lets me know that, God put us together for a reason. And that's our job, to help each other and to see each other grow. So let me throw that in there. I am very, very, very excited for your success and the fact that you stand tall as a leader and a cycle breaker. And I see you breaking those generational cycles. I have to give you your heads up. I do. I have to. So with that being said, what are some of the strategies or support systems that have helped you on your path?
Me personally, I would say prayer.
Mm.
Prayer is number one. Talking to God, talking about it. As I've gotten older, I was heavily involved in the church, preaching, dancing, singing, leading, talking, promoting, all of that. But I think that as I got older and life started lifing for real, I learned how to talk to God, how I need to talk to him, and how I need to, get what I need to receive from him. Sometimes, like, throughout my day, like, I'll just talk to God like he's a friend, or just like a peer, like someone that I could just easily come and talk to and tell them, look, I know you know what's going on. I can't, like, this is just too much. I need to get better in my faith. I need to grow. I need to get out of this situation. What do I need to do? And a lot of times I'm impatient. I'm working on that. And you know how people say he may not come when you want him, but he'll always be there right on time. So true. Like, really, really, really true.
It is.
And I recommend that for everybody. I feel like we kind of get like sidetracked in life where, we may be going through it and it seems like we're going through it for a while. So we feel like God isn't listening, but that is so not true at all. I always think about, like, when you go to the gym and you want to get stronger, you have to keep lifting weights. You can't keep lifting a 5-pound weight and expect, by tomorrow you'll be able to lift 100. No, you got to keep building that. You got to keep going through it, keep elevating those weights, because that's what's going to build that muscle. So prayer number one for sure. Second, I would say probably dancing and listening to music. I've been like going to a lot of like sound bathing classes and meditation and stuff like that. And this lady that I work with told me how important it is to move your body. And she was saying, like, even if you got to twerk it out. You got to move something, keep your body moving, shake that negativity off. And I literally remember the first sermon I ever preached, the whole thing was shake it off and step it up. Because you have no choice. Like, you really got to go out there and you really have to get it. And lastly, I would say, excuse me, just surrounding myself by people who are like-minded individuals, or people who are encouraging or see me for me. That's a really big, important thing to have. It lets me know that I'm not alone, that I feel heard and I feel appreciated. And of course, everybody wants to feel like that, but surrounding yourself around people who mean well even helps you grow and helps you elevate. So it just makes the whole journey of life, a little bit easier, a little bit brighter, per se.
And I love it because the transition, honestly, we can both speak on this, the transition amongst each other. I think for me, and I'll just keep it 100 with you, is the fact of the transition of me mentoring you and you mentoring the girls and how that full circle moment works. Because you said surrounding yourself around positive people. People are watching. They're watching the good, they're watching the bad, they're watching the up, they're watching the down. And I think if we are our authentic selves, then that's what people are going to see. You've seen me transition. I've seen you transition. You've seen them transition. But keep God first. Keep doing what we're doing. Understand that we were really all born into sin. Let's be clear, we don't have anything to do with that. However, we're learning to grow. We're learning to heal. We're learning to be resilient. And I think for me, as your mentor, because like how Reggie said, let me shout him out, mentorship is really what it is. It's not anything else. I'm not your therapist. It is something different, and that was one thing that I loved even throughout our journey. I'm transitioning from mentor for this, mentor for that, and people have to understand that. So just so you all know, yes, she has been a huge inspiration to help me also, a part of my community, help mentor my own daughters who love her to death, which is the reason why she has been part of the team, the reason why we have Be VicTORIEus, the reason why we have a lot of things going on in regards to ACEs ambassadors and things of that nature. This is our spokeswoman. And so you have to understand the role that she's playing. You have to do things not for anybody else, but do things for yourself. And that's one thing that I love about you. So let me ask you one more question, or a few more questions, shall I say. You talked about your healing strategies, support systems. In what ways do you now empower others, whether it's in your family, workplace, or community, to break your generational cycles?
Spreading my positive energy. Always letting people know I'm here for you. I love you. You're okay with me. I don't judge. I'm not God. I don't I'm not perfect. I have my flaws as well. And I feel like that's what makes all of us beautiful individually. My flaws are not your flaws, but the fact that, you have them and, they're here to show it is what it is. This is who we are. It doesn't make us bad people. We're all trying to evolve. We're all trying to grow and change. And I just feel like, being what I couldn't have to somebody, I wouldn't want to see them go through what I went through when, all I needed was a simple, hey, how you doing?
Mm.
Hey, you okay? Hey, how's your day been? I've been thinking about you. You've been on my mind. So definitely just spreading positivity because the world could be so dark.
Yep.
Like there's no compassion, there's no sympathy, there's no understanding. And I try to be all of that as much as possible for everybody because you never know what people are going through. We only see a percentage of what people show us and barely even that. So just, even if I don't know your story or know what's going on with you, trying to sympathize with you, putting myself in your shoes and think, how would I want to be treated? How would I want to be respected? Do I want this type of behavior reciprocated to me? And just, thinking about the other person and actually genuinely caring about their feelings.
And you're right. You are 110% correct. Speaking of, about the ACEs quiz, the ACEs study, and you have an ACEs score. What's your score?
A 6.
And I love it because guess what? You don't let it, and you never let this 6 define you. And I love you for that because, again, we cannot let our ACEs score define us at all. So let me ask, did you learn anything at the conference that shift your perspective or help you better understand your own story?
I did. From learning how to breathe through it, work through it, knowing which specific type of meditations work for specific type of problems.
Mm-hmm.
That is key. That is so essential.
Mm-hmm.
And also just learning that, it's okay. Like, you don't have to, like you said, like, wear that score proudly on your chest. Like, it is what it is. Like, show off those battle scars, because without my battle scars, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't know what I know today, or be able to help other people in their space, just evolve and grow, and let them know that, hey, you're not alone. Like, I'm going through this too. So I just think being in a space where I can feel more comfortable and recognize, this is me, and it's okay. It is
Yep.
okay. I feel like the whole conference, the main thing for me was, it's okay. And I needed that for sure.
Good for you. Good for you. So, is there something you wish people would understand more about childhood trauma or ACEs that isn't talked about enough?
Um, yes. I feel like oftentimes a lot of people, two things.
Okay.
One, we don't recognize how our childhood trauma affects us as adults.
Mm.
And we don't recognize how, if it's not healed, processed, or acknowledged, we carry that. And
Mm.
oftentimes, like, we're not breaking cycles because we don't acknowledge it. We brush it under the rug, and that's not the way to go, because then you'll find yourself at 50 wondering, well, why am I acting like this? Why do I feel like this? Why is this going on? Well, because you never took the time to, process the childhood trauma, or, bring it to the forefront and say, this has been going on. This is not okay. And I have to do something about this. Only I have the power to change that. Nobody else can force me. Nobody else can make me. I have to want to do that. And I have to be open to that. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. And there's going to be times where, because you did go through your trauma, it may bring you back to, a place that you don't want to be. But you
Mm-hmm.
have to be smart enough and willing, and encourage yourself and tell you that, you have to go on. You have to keep going, because it will get better.
Mm-hmm. I hear your emotional support agreeing with you too.
Yes, like, she's speaking.
And I talk about it all the time because for people that are not aware, that's what pets are for. They will help you comfort. Sophie. I know that angel with her cute self. I hear her saying yes. But people have to understand you have to find the things. I think one thing that you highlighted is self-care, self, self-care, because somebody else can't do for you what you can do for yourself. So thank you for highlighting that. I love what you said though, because that's what we're struggling with as adults. You're an adult, but when you get older and you're dealing with the things as a result of the childhood trauma, that's where we like, man, I wish I would have knew a little bit earlier. So how has being a part of the Be Victorious movement shaped your healing journey, your purpose? Because you're younger, so you still got that chance to take care of some things.
I know. Um, I feel like that's a great question. The Be Victorious Foundation helped me be comfortable in my voice. That's number one. Um, take conviction over my life, um, and stand firm in being a leader. I feel like my generation, we don't really have platforms, resources, support system, or groups like this who want to say, let's sit down and talk about these childhood adverse experiences, because that's what forms you.
Mhm,
People don't realize, like, when you're a child, you notice every single thing. Like, that's where the brain starts forming,
mhm,
and you're like, really, you're keeping this information stored, and you're growing and you're learning. And to that point, I feel like the foundation has helped me unlearn some things as well that
right.
may not be, what is centered, or what I believe or I feel is morally correct. in my life and my journey.
Mm-hmm.
Being a leader for my peers, it can be hard sometimes, like oftentimes like we want to be cool, we want to be, looking like this or portraying this, and nobody really talks about the healing journey. Nobody talks about like, how hard it really is to just be a human, exist, live in America, like period. And I feel like having this platform, having this organization, and just surrounding yourself around people who, also feel the same way you do and also want to lead and also want to change, it just makes it easier, to be confident in yourself and be confident to spread the awareness because it's here, like it's been here, it's here to stay. And a lot of people, they may not know,
Mm-hmm.
so just educating people and telling them about it and telling them, hey, like, this is what it is. We have this out here. Like, you don't have to sit in silence or sit in your trauma forever. Like, there is healing out there for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just reaching people, not even my peers, like people younger than me, people older than me, like even hearing them say, like, you're so inspiring. My sister, like, I have an older sister who's like about to be 40, old enough to be my mom. And even her, like I told her about ACEs. I brought her, familiar with the Be VicTORIEus Foundation because it has to start somewhere. And
Yep.
I feel like that awareness aspect is what, helps everything keep going. It keeps the wheels turning, the engine moving. Because I could be a leader, I could be an ambassador, but what does that really mean? What
Right.
work am I doing? How am I trying to, you know, use my gifts, my knowledge, my wisdom, and put that forth in the world by spreading awareness,
Mm-hmm.
sharing to people, telling them.
Swashing my boo. I hate to say it, y'all, but yes, yes. This is the reason why it's been going for 30 years, you guys. I've been mentoring for 30 years. This is the reason why we have Be VicTORIEus Foundation. Because it does work. It's easy. It's really simple. It's awareness, it's education, it's a voice, it's all of this. And you are doing that. And I have to applaud you for that because this is the reason why we are here. You're the voice. So now these younger people are going to say, hey, you know what? If she's doing it, I can do it too. We have to make it not normal for the things that have been happening, like the abuse, like the neglect, like the household dysfunction. We have to make sure those things are not normalized. So, again, I thank you. What is one thing you would whisper to your younger self?
Oh wow. Um, I would whisper to my younger self, continue to be that light.
Come on, baby girl.
Never dim it down for anybody. And don't let nobody dim it down.
That's right. And I respect. Whew, that sent the chill on my spine because that resonates with me too. You know what I mean? We often do that. I understand that, yes, I have a doctorate. Okay, ooh, but people really do not know my story. And I think it's humbling to see, like, Kermari, because I have to share your relationship with the girls is the reason why I was like, hey, wait, hold on. What? As a parent, I really didn't know what was going on. I was your mentor and I helped you. I got you in through high school and helped you get to college. But I really didn't know what was going on in the household until in confidence, my daughters was like, no, mommy, I think you might want to talk to Ish. And just to see you as an adult overcome those obstacles, you're a hero to me. And so, with that being said, we'll have that conversation. Right now, let's focus on what we need to do because, again, we just had a beautiful conference. We all learned. We did what we had to do. We highlighted the fact that we're cycle breakers. So, if your healing journey had a theme song, what would it be?
um, I would probably say Made It by Tiana Taylor.
Okay, I'm with it. I like it because you did. So let me share. When I brag, and I don't try to brag, but I brag, okay? Do you know what school you graduated from? What school did you graduate from?
Columbia College, Chicago.
Baby, do y'all know that's the reason why? So everybody keeps asking me like these clips and these things and this and this. This is the person that has done this. If you all know her story, I swear to God, we'll do that in another episode. But this here, you all have to understand. This is the reason why Be Victorious Foundation was created. So what does, and this is the last question, being victorious mean to you in this season of your life?
In this season of my life, being victorious to me means even though you're in the midst of it,
Mm,
even though it may seem hard, you may seem alone, do it alone. Do it scared. Do it unsure. Do it worrying. Because at the end of the day, all it takes is the size of a mustard seed of faith to keep going. And it's there. So
mm,
many times I didn't know how I was gonna I didn't see today. I didn't see 24. I didn't see graduating. I didn't see talking to you. I didn't see getting this podcast.
mhm,
But all it takes is that perseverance,
mm,
and that's all you need. That's
mhm,
all you need. And the rest, it's like a domino effect. The rest will come.
mm,
And even the small victories, and I've learned this from you, the small victories also make you extremely victorious as well.
mhm, mhm. You trying to pump me up. I mean, I feel real good right now. Let's be clear. But you all know, for the ones that have seen the podcast is 3 years old. So people know me by now. They know who I am. And I think that's the reason why this podcast is going to resonate with the world as they all do, because they've seen my work, they've seen what I do, they see how who I really am, and this authenticity is rare. This is us. So we're really having this podcast, but we're having a conversation that we need to have, because when I left Chicago, I just left. I didn't get to hug, I didn't get to say goodbye, I didn't get to do those things. So to have you start off this podcast season and do what we need to do is what I needed. So I have to thank you so much for everything that you've done. I want the world to know who you are, how much you've helped me. So let them know a lot about Edit with Iesha and what you do and how much of an entrepreneur. I want you guys to know she is one of the many entrepreneurs that have been my mentees that motivated me into entrepreneurship. Tell us about Edit with Iesha.
So Edward Ish is a business that I started almost 2 years ago. It's basically where I get to showcase my digital creativity. I love editing videos. I love filming. I love managing social media. I just feel like I'm just immersed in the digital world, and it just allows me to be creative and show who I really am. I help clients out a lot, small businesses to big businesses, corporations, executives, starting out. Even if you need help starting a business, I can help you out with that as well.
Mhm.
Um, and really, my goal, my mission statement, the business side, the vision, and all of that. I just want to be recognized helping someone else's dreams come true. So when I edit these videos, when I'm going to film these events, what makes me different from other, digital creators, social media management, I story tell. I see a story and I make sure I tell it, whatever that may be. And I make sure I tell it from a lens that is specific towards you, because it's your story and you're trusting me to, handle your story and showcase in a way that is engaging to others, but also means something to you. I have to treat it like my baby. That is my baby. That's our baby that we're going to take care of. And we are going to show and just tell the world, you know? So I do, like I said, videography, editing, social media management. But I also like teach people how to edit because, you know, I I know that there's other editors, videographers, people who do this field, but I think doing it yourself is so much more different. Like I could tell you this is how I want it to go. We can sit and watch thousands of reference videos, you know, for you to recreate this, but doing it yourself because you know what's in here. You know what's in here. You know how you want it to look. You know how you want that text to flow into there, that graphic to spin around in there. And nobody can do it like you.
Yep.
So, with that being said,
You're a
yeah, I
great
just
teacher. You
thank you.
got a good job with me.
Thank you. It wasn't always like that because I really used to hate teaching people. Like I get very like quick. I don't know. I but in this journey and I'm doing something that I love. I'm doing something that I'm passionate with. I'm learning patience. I'm learning how to take my time. I'm learning how to, you know, find different ways because I was one of those kids in school. Like I had to learn a different way. I can't just have you sit here and talk to me and tell me that A is B and C is D. No, I need it to where I it sticks for me. I'm a visual learner, so I gotta see it. I gotta put it in my head. I gotta build it up, break it down, separate it, organize it, put it back together so that I could, you know, be immersive in that and I could expand and, you know, show exactly what it is that I'm trying to show people.
hmm And that's why I love you. I appreciate you a million percent, and you know that. Let the listeners, the viewers, everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can find me on any and every platform of social media at underscore Iesha B and my business page on Instagram, Edit with Ish. Website is currently under construction, so that will be on the way. But stay tuned for that release. And also book with me because I have affordable prices. I'm very flexible and I'm very, very, very easy to work with. So
And I can attest to that. So the letters of recommendation, here's a visual letter of recommendation. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed this podcast episode because, you know, very rarely I'm meeting people for the first time. And I don't get a lot of people that I know forever or have been knowing half your life. My God, to sit here and have this conversation. So thank you so much, Iesha. I thank you for being a part of the team. I thank you for your support. I thank you for traveling. I thank you for still being with me after all of these years because, again, you're going to have mentors that you're going to run into in your life. And I always thank you for your gracious return. So, again, thank you so much for everything. You guys, another fabulous episode of Be Victorious as always. You know where to find me. I'm everywhere too. Everywhere. And I want you guys to know that I will be back on TikTok for this season because it's been a demand. So, with that being said, tune in, you guys. Thank you again for another fabulous episode of Be Victorious, and we will see you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye bye.